You're watching WHO TV 13 Des Moines. And now, the news team that's making a difference in central Iowa. This is Today in Iowa, the first news and weather of your day.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, September 20th, and you're looking at a view of something that's very dark out there. That's known as Des Moines, looking through Sky Eye. Good morning. This is a special pre-Olympics Today in Iowa. I'm Tom Hauser.
And I'm Eileen Wickstead. Thanks a lot for joining us. It is the pre-Olympics edition at 5:30 in the morning of Today in Iowa. Lots going on in the Olympics. Finally, we have some gold medals to talk about.
Yep, just 2 so far, but they're going to keep mounting up. Greg Louganis, the latest winner.
Yes, and Janet Evans, the swimmer, and lots of things going on in the Olympics. This morning, the men's gymnastics coming up at 6 o'clock. Also some cycling and I believe some track.
Yep, and you know, the best thing about Louganis' gold medal is that he came back from that horrible accident, hitting his head on the board. You know, you would think it would be tough to get up there and even have to do that again, but he came back and did some spectacular dives. A
great comeback. Well, here are some of the other big stories making news on this early Tuesday morning.
Des Moines firefighters are investigating a blaze that started early this morning at the Salvation Army.
Residents in Japan are waiting and watching the latest health reports on President Hirohito. The oldest reigning monarch is reportedly near death.
In Haiti, the coup is over, and now the newly formed government is trying to get organized and protected.
And there is a new type of school for elementary school children. It's business school. We'll explain during our Focus on Business segment.
And, of course, Greg Louganis captures the gold after hitting his head on the diving board. What a comeback. We'll have more Olympic highlights during the AM Sports Wrap.
But before going behind the headlines, let's take a look at what you can expect weather-wise and say good morning to Mike Burrish. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Eileen. Good morning, Tom, and all of central Iowa. Let's take a look currently outside. The temperature 50 degrees. The sky is partly cloudy. Northwest winds about 9 miles per hour. The dew point 45, so the relative humidity 83%. The pressure 29.86 inches and rising. And sunrise this morning will be shortly before 7 o'clock. Be sure to grab a jacket before you head outdoors. Today's forecast, it'll be mostly sunny. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. A little breezy, especially this morning. The high reaching 72 degrees. For tonight, clear. Southeast winds about 5 miles per hour. And a cool night as the temperature drops down to 50 degrees. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny. South to southeast winds 10 to 20. And a pleasant afternoon high of 80 degrees. I'll have more in about 10 minutes. Tom and Eileen?
All right, thanks. It is a lot chillier this morning, about 20 degrees compared to yesterday.
Sure is, and a little bit of wind out there, too. It's brisk. Time now to check traffic, and all is very, very quiet, as you'd imagine, at 5:30 in the morning.
That's right, but we do have a list of construction sites that you should avoid when you do head out later this morning. Only one lane each way is open on the Highway 46 bridge and the University Avenue bridge over the Des Moines River. Indianola Road from Southeast 1st to Creston is closed. And the construction project at the airport is still going on. And that means if you drive on Army Post Road near Floor, watch out for earth movers, quickly changing traffic signals, and some dust.
An early morning fire at the Salvation Army building on 6th Avenue may have been the work of an arsonist. Firefighters responded to the blaze just after 1 o'clock this morning. By the time they arrived, fire had consumed most of the building's utility room. A Salvation Army spokesman says he noticed evidence of a break-in.
And I came downstairs and saw the area in the furnace room where evidently a fire was started, and a lot of water and smoke and that type of thing, and more windows that were busted, and came upstairs and found that they had gone through my office and our social worker and bookkeeper's office.
No word yet on whether any suspects are in custody or how that fire may have been started. There were no injuries.
Some relatively good news for farmers this Tuesday morning. Iowa's harvest is 2 weeks ahead of schedule, and the corn and soybean crops are improving. As of this week, 13% of the state's corn crop is rated good, 37% fair. Half of the corn is poor or very poor. Soybeans are a bit better, though, with 13% rated good and 46% fair. 4 in 10 bean fields listed as poor or worse. Experts say rising grain prices, that is, due to the drought, could make Iowa's corn and soybean crops the target of thieves. So officials are urging farmers to take extra precaution while storing their grain. Officials say mixing the grain with paper confetti, which is coated with identification numbers, is one way to help deter thieves. Iowa Farm Bureau President Merlin Plagg says the coated confetti could also help police recover the grain.
Workers in elevators can easily identify the grain if The confetti is placed in the grain at the time of harvest. Grain can either be augured into the bin when the bins are filled, or just simply placed on top of the bin.
The confetti costs about $17 for 5 pounds. It's available at most county sheriff offices.
The Senate has given overwhelming approval to a free trade agreement with Canada, and all it needs now is President Reagan's signature and the approval of Canada's lawmakers. The plan would eliminate all trade tariffs between the two countries. Supporters hope the plan will increase trade between Canada and the United States. It appears Japan's Emperor Hirohito is in grave condition this morning. The world's longest reigning monarch is said to be suffering from internal bleeding. Mark Dolmage has more now on the condition of the 87-year-old Hirohito.
For the past several days, Japan's television networks and daily newspapers have been keeping a close watch on reports from the imperial household on the emperor's health. He's been running a fever from time to time, not enough to hospitalize the 87-year-old monarch, but enough for doctors to order him, for example, not to attend the sumo matches he enjoys so much that are now going on in Tokyo. It was a year ago he underwent surgery for intestinal problems, coming through that ordeal in remarkably good condition for a man in his mid-80s. The persistent fever bouts he's now having, according to doctors, may be linked to a growth in his pancreas. On Monday, the imperial household reported that while the fever was still on the high side, he had a good appetite. His comings and goings are always well covered by the Japanese media, and the nation could not help but notice he appeared even more frail, his walk less steady 2 weeks ago when he returned to Tokyo from his annual summer vacation. If there is apprehension in Japan about this latest health problem, it is being left unspoken. And it should be pointed out that in Japan, doctors will usually not inform a patient or the family of the worst.